You son of a bitch. Cause Pawn's drunk loves ya.
Keep it light, keep it light, keep it light, keep it light. Get it light, get it light, get it light, get the light beat going. And get the light, and get the light beat going. And get the light, and get the light beat going. Get the light, get the light beat going. Get the light, yeah. And I'll see it.
Come on. Let's go. January 2020. 26.
Let me tell you what I need. Don't need fame.
Let's go.
No beef, no 50, no game.
Okay.
I keep it tight.
Come on.
With all my might. You know how I do it.
What?
I don't even need no music. Uno, dos, tres. No music.
Smash that like.
No music.
Smash that like.
No music.
Smash that like.
No music.
Smash that like. You ready?
Let's get ready to.
You already know this is Punch Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself, aka El Adobo, aka El Sazón, aka El Borracho, aka Café Bustelo, aka El Pastor de Boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are this side of heaven. God bless you all. 2026 lit. Week after week, we got to fight. You already know in Puerto Rico this past Saturday, Amanda Serrano, the queen, the sub-division world champion for the weight undisputed, regarded as the greatest woman that ever laced them up, or arguably, you feel me? Shout out to all the ladies. Shout out to Katie Taylor. Shout out to Carissa Shields. Shout out to the Pioneers. Shout out to Christy Martin, Layla Ali, and Wolf. Shout out to all the ladies. Shout out to all the ladies. Y'all already know it's lady first. To start the year off, we had Amanda Serrano, Brooklyn in the building, Puerto Rico in the building, Carolina in the building. You already know. Good victory, good challenging victory. Shout out to Tellus. You know what I'm saying? Short notice, but she did what she got. She challenged Amanda Serrano. And we're gonna be talking about what's gonna be next for Amanda Serrano. You already know, man. She did it. She won everything, but she failed to tie Christy Martin record for the most knockout in women boxing history. But 2026 is still young. We probably gonna see her back in the ring 2 times, and probably she could tie it in. But it's gonna be a fight that a lot of people are gonna be calling for, and that's gonna be Amanda Serrano versus Alicia Baumgartner, the super featherweight undisputed. One of the primary fights in the sport of boxing. Can you imagine if we get Amanda Serrano versus Alicia Baumgartner in the main event, and then get Clarissa Shields versus Shadeja Green? Wow. The buggy woman. Shadeja Green. New Jersey. Patterson. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Lono's boxing in the building. You already know, man. If you haven't become a member to the channel, become a member to the mother effing channel. Let's go. The high octane, baby. The best delivery. Let's go. Man, it's going to be a Puerto Rican push. Shut up. You know, I got to give it up to the Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican is locking things down in the sport of boxing in January. You saw a whole card, January 3rd in Puerto Rico. Now this Saturday, Barclays Center, the 140-pound division, the former boogeyman in the 140-pound division, got his title back, beating El Dominicano, El Platanero, El Manguco, El Tres Golpe, Alberto Puello. You feel me? For the fight. You know what I'm saying? It was a close fight, close, challenging fight. But you know what they say? You got to take it from the champion. And to be honest, Subriel Matias versus Alberto Puello, he took it from the champion. And we're going to be talking about just that. Taking it. Remember, the phrase of today, of this live, is take it from the champion. We've been hearing it from years and decades and centuries about how a challenger could become a champion when he is facing a champion. What does that challenger needs to do? Don't switch it up because it's Tio and Shakur now. Let's not switch it up. Remember the phrase. We've been using it to every challenger that are about to face a champion. We have used it for years. We have used it for decades. We have used it for 100+ year sports in the Queensberry rule of boxing. Take it from the champion. I don't want to hear no analysis. I don't want to hear no breakdown of, well, Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? He could do what Jermaine Ortiz did to Tio. With Shakur Stevenson, he could do what Sando Martin did to Tio. One thing that Sando Martin didn't do, and one thing that Jermaine Ortiz didn't do, that is the reason why they ain't beat Teofimo Lopez, because they didn't take it from Tio. And Shakur Stevenson will have to take risk to take it from the champion. Let's not forget, he may be the underdog. You may not respect the two-time lineal, should be the two-time recognized undisputed in the full belt era by the age of 25. You may not respect it. You may not like his mouth. You may not like how he promotes. You may not like how he look. You may not like how his daddy talk. You may not like how his daddy train. You may not like his performances. In the end of the day, is a challenger versus a champion. And Shakur Stevenson will have to do what he's been reluctant to do throughout his career. He's unblemished. He's undefeated. But one thing about Shakur, when the tough gets going, he will start running like Forrest Gump. Just ask Edo de los Santos. I ain't lying. I ain't spitting no damn narrative. If I'm telling the truth, tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. If you think I'm lying, man, please, you want me? You out your damn mind.
You's a liar.
If you haven't seen Shakur Stevenson, when the tough gets going, he start bowing and running.
You's a liar.
Like he's playing manhunt.
You's a liar.
Like he's playing hot piece of butter.
You's a liar.
If you don't believe it, you's a damn liar. A damn liar. Everything has changed when it comes to Teofimo Lopez. The way you look at belts switches up when it comes to Teofimo Lopez. When you look at, oh my God, look at these runners. Look at these runners. You heard where Turkey out shake? No, the Tom and Jerry motherfuckers are right. I don't want no Tom and Jerry, right? These motherfuckers been hustling me. You saw what happened out there in Times Square. You saw Devin Haney run versus Jose Ramirez. He's better not run. I like it. I told him not to run versus Brian Norman. When he's saying Shakur Stevenson, run. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a petition out there. Shout out to Showbiz the Adult. Thousands in the boxing community signed the petition. Matter of fact, they ain't just signed the petition. They donated money. They donated. I remember. I ain't lying. Tell me, hey, yo. If you ain't see people signing a petition so the people won't have to see runners in the sport of boxing,
You's a liar.
you know it and I know it. Am I right or wrong? Help me out in the chat, folks. Shout out to my brothers in the chat. Shout out to my brothers and sisters in the chat. Am I lying? Was there a petition when Turkey I say no Tom and Jerry, no William Skull, nothing of that nature, please? Oh, he was mad. The whole world of boxing was laughing. The whole world of boxing was saying, we don't want to see no runners, man. We're tired of this shit. Hey, yo, the judges need to switch their criterias. They need to switch it up. Am I lying, damn it? Tell me in the chat. Participate. Huh? Nah, but when it comes to Jermaine Ortiz running from Tio, no. Tio gotta cut the window. Tio, man. No, Tio. No. When it comes to Tio, you like runners. When it comes to Tio, you give runners the benefit of the doubt. But when Tio is not around, nobody, no fan love running. But with Tio, you got, yeah, Jermaine Ortiz won. Jermaine Ortiz beat him. Jermaine Ortiz exposing. And Sandor Martin exposing. And Sandor Martin, yeah. Now y'all like runners. I get it. I get it. It's Tio. Of this generation of the sport of boxing, let's not forget that the generation that we've seen this past Saturday. I'm not sorry. Not this past Saturday, September, when we seen Terrence Book Crawford become a 3-division world champion, beating Canelo Alvarez. Right? That's their generation. Canelo, Bud, Thurman, Spence, Sean Porter, Danny Swift Garcia, Gary Russell. Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? That's their era, right? Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? That's their era, right? The Charlos. That's their era, right? Right? But this generation right now, the guy that's entering their prime right now, we're talking about this generation right now. The upcoming generation, that's the Kid Austins of the world, right? They're coming up. The Kid Austins, probably Sanders Zayas. You know what I'm saying? But when we're talking about Tio, Tank, Ryan, Shakur, Haney, Virgil, Boots, Josh Kelly, these guys, right? Sebastian Fundura, Tim Zhu, right? This little generation right here we're talking about. Chris Colbert, right? This generation we're talking about right here, right? Who set the tone? Teofimo Lopez set the tone. That's why I've been calling him the captain of the generation, the commander-in-chief. Am I lying? If you're trying to say that Teofimo Lopez did not set the tone in daring to be great of this generation,
You's a liar!
we telling the truth, folks out here today. Ain't gonna be no lying today in the chat. If you lying, I'ma block you. We don't want no liars. It's contagious. I don't give a damn if you like or dislike what I'm saying, but the truth shall set you free. I'm gonna tell you right now in the chat, I'm not playing around 2026. If y'all want to troll, you go to another channel. I am telling you, don't do it to yourself. I will block the liars today. No liars today. I don't care if you've been a subscriber. Don't come over here. I'm not bullshitting y'all. Don't come over here and bullshit. The guy that set the tone was Teofimo Lopez when he went and beat a champion, not a vacant title, when he went to face Vasily Lomachenko. That the time was regarded pound for pound, 1, 2, 3. You could flip it around. And if it wasn't for the WBC shenanigans and you not giving the benefit of the doubt and not keeping it real with Teofimo Lopez, when the franchise came apart, everybody knew that ESPN was running. Even Manny Pacquiao, Tito Trinidad, Roberto Duran, Zab Judah, Mike Tyson. When Teofimo Lopez beat Vasily Lomachenko, congratulations, undisputed. The youngest lightweight, undisputed. Teofimo Lopez about the age of 23. Even Bernard Hopkins in the interview said, I do not see nobody I would never see Teofimo Lopez lose unless that the only one that could beat Tio is Tio. That's what Bernard Hopkins says right after that fight, a couple of days after. Tio set the tone. Everybody had to follow suit. But because of the shenanigans of the boxing fans, and the toxic American fan base, the division, you guys asked for fighters to dare to be great. You asked guys that we want boxing to go back to what it used to be. And when Teofimo Lopez of this generation brought that energy, brought that mentality, brought that spirit, brought that motivation, brought that inspiration, you guys switched it on Teofimo Lopez. The blame goes to the boxing fans. You said, and turn around after he went and dared to be great, Tio, wait a minute. You're not undisputed. You gotta go and fight Devin because he got the real belt. Knowing that Devin Haney didn't win shit around that time. Knowing that Devin Haney was elevated while Tio was elevated. The whole world saw it in broad daylight. And you as a boxing fan, when this man started the trend, you turn your backs on the real. You turn your backs on Legacy Reign Supreme. You turn your backs on Tio. When Tio brought back that energy of the retro mentality, you as the American boxing fan, turn your back on Teofimo Lopez. All these sometimes interview, Tio should be undisputed. I mean, if it wasn't for WBC, he's undisputed, but you got to understand that the WBO and the WBA and the IBF, they don't recognize the WBC, so he can't be undisputed. You got to understand, Punch, that it's not written you know what I'm saying, written. You know, if you look up and you Google Undisputed, you know, Wiki would tell you that who the fuck is Wiki? As a matter of fact, bring Wiki right here so I could debate him. Wiki right now. I'm tired of that. Punch, you gotta understand that it's written down. And if you Google and Wiki, bring Google right here, right now, so we could debate. Bring Google and Wiki and bring them right here to Punch Unboxings. I'll send the link. Tell Wiki to come over here and tell me who's undisputed. Huh? Punch. It's not written. Written where? We dictate the history of the sport of boxing. Me, you, and I, people in the chat, boxing content creators, media, independent media. It's us that dictate the history of the sport of boxing. And if we saw this shit in broad daylight, if we seen Teofimo Lopez, we seen Lomachenko do what he had to do, and then we see the WBC did what they did, and we seen Teofimo Lopez beat Vasily Lomachenko, then the world of boxing was supposed to say, hey, yo, Teo undisputed. And if anybody come around and say, no, but the WBC, fuck the WBC. We know what you did, and we know what this man did in the ring. He proved it. He did it. Blood, sweat, and tears. And we should not take that away from Teofimo Lopez. But you fucking American toxic boxing fan, you divisive, you took it away from him when this was the man that wanted to take over to bring back what we've been bitching, we've been crying, we've been whining. We want there to be great. We waited a long time to get Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. We waited a long time to get Bud versus Earl Spence. We still haven't even gotten Wilder versus AJ. We still haven't even gotten AJ versus Fury, but we got Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko. Right after Teo did what he did to Richard Comey and knocked him out in the second round, I said I want Loma. And the people in the boxing world, you too green. You too young. Nah, Lomachenko was pound for pound. He's too good. He's fought all around the world. He's a gold medalist. He's too much. The footwork too much. The experience too much. Punch on boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine told you that Teofimo Lopez will outbox Vasily Lomachenko. And you fools said, Punch, I'm going to take your boxing credentials away from you. You don't know what you're talking about, Punch on boxing. I'll prove you motherfuckers wrong. And Teo beat Lomachenko that night. And I celebrated, baby. Whoa! I celebrated with shots, with Perico, with all the drugs in the world, baby. Yeah, I celebrated. Yeah. Shit. But the boxing world took it away from Teo. Every time you ask for something from Teo, Teo delivers, and you get mad. Oh, Teo Sr., you talk too much. You too loud. You should let your son talk more. Because Teo was the guy, he didn't talk too much. He wasn't boisterous. He let his father do the talking. You didn't like it. You try to turn his father, you try to turn Teo to turn on his father. Oh, these fathers want to live vicariously through their sons. Y'all ain't play that game with Lomachenko. You didn't play that game with other father and sons collaboration. Oh, these fathers want to live vicariously through their sons. Shout out to you from Lopez Sr. as trainer of the year that year, right? Oh, he's too loud. Let your son talk. And when Teofimo Lopez get to talking, now you can't beg for Teo not to talk. Now Teofimo Lopez Sr., he's in the cut now. Now his son talking. Now y'all like, man, I want Teofimo Lopez. Where's Teofimo Lopez Sr., man? Man, where's Teofimo Lopez Sr.? Hey, yo, tell Teo to shut up. Just fight. Oh, now you want Teo to shut up. I thought you wanted Teo Sr. to shut up and you wanted Teo to talk. I thought you want interviewers to take the mic away from Sr. and give it to Teo, and he start talking. Now you want the mic away from Teo and give it back to Senior. Oh, you delusional fucks. Smash that like button, baby. Smash the like button. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Am I lying? Or I'm telling the truth? How many times you heard it? My son is gonna beat everybody. Oh, he's a pussy. Shakur is nothing. Josh Taylor is a bum. Oh, Lomachenko is nothing. Oh, shut up, senior. Shut up. Let your son talk. Shut up. Let your son talk. Shut up. Let your son talk. Teofimo Lopez get the talking, and y'all get mad. Tio get the talking, y'all get mad. Got it here. Teofimo Lopez, B. Vasily, top rank. Y'all already know that Vasily Lomachenko was the golden goose. They wasn't very happy. And then Teofimo Lopez, hey, pay my next fight. I beat Vasily Lomachenko. I'm pound for pound now. They wanted to give him $1 million. $1 million? That's why Teofimo Lopez took the purse bid. And Triller went to 6.2 million, remember? And people was like, yo, Teofimo Lopez went against the grain. Damn, Teo. And the boxing world, I remember even the haters was like, yo, Teo, that's right, bro. That's right. When Triller came through, 6.2 million and won the purse bid over Top Rank, they just bid it, what, 2.3? Was it 2.3, 2.2, 2.4? And the zone was what, the 3.9, 3.4, 3, something like that. And Triller came out of nowhere, and everybody was like, yo, that's his real worth. Of course that was his good worth, because he beat Vasily Lomachenko. But then guess what? The politics of the sport of boxing started working against Teo. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you like this. The reason why, you know what I'm saying, there's some people, even in PBC, that don't like punch wrong boxing is because when me and Leonard Ellaby on Twitter was going back and forth, because they was talking about a potential fight with Gervonta Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez, and people were shaming Tank because Teofimo Lopez did Gervonta Tank Davis dirty work. So Teofimo Lopez says, I'm the A side. I'm the guy now. And hardcores respected that because we seen what Teofimo Lopez did. He's the guy now, right? And then, guess what? Mayweather Promotions wanted to put Mayweather versus Logan Paul on the same day as Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos in the same city. And I remember when I was going back and forth with Leonard Ellaby tweeted, the takeover. The business of boxing, the politics, been trying to get in the way of Teofimo Lopez. Those are the fucking facts. And we watch it in broad daylight. Teofimo Lopez beat a champion to become a champion. Not no vacant titles. Teofimo Lopez of his generation probably is just one of two that has gotten his world title by beating a champion. He ain't fought for no. He's to this day, Teofimo Lopez never fought for no vacant strap. No. He beat a champion because he earned it. He earned everything he got. Even the things that he did, even the things that they have taken away from Teofimo Lopez, he's earned it. He's earned everything he got. And let's not forget that Teofimo Lopez even was the lowest paid out of all of those guys that wasn't even doing what Teofimo Lopez was doing. He was getting paid less than Shakur, paid less than Ryan Garcia, paid less than Devin Haney, paid less than Gervonta Tank Davis. And the real ones, damn, man. All right, you gotta hold your team accountable. Maybe he's manager. You get what you negotiate. We understand the business of boxing. We understand that as well, and that's why Teofimo Lopez recently needed to part ways with his manager and got Keith Connolly, the manager, one of the best managers in the sport of boxing today, right? But remember how many times that was postponed. The Teo versus Kambosos was postponed so many times. Right? I remember leading up to the fight, I said, yo, Teofimo Lopez was in the best shape of his life, man. He had a great camp. And then the Florida State Commission said that Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul cannot put their event on the same day that Teo and Kambosos, so they had to move it on a Sunday. Triller, because of the name of Floyd Mayweather, they got bullied out. Triller's like, well, we can't compete. And I remember I was doing it live and I said, yo, treat this. Triller shouldn't back out of the Saturday fight. Treat this like boxing all-star weekend. All the media is going to be in Miami. Tio will fight on Saturday, and everybody will be in Miami, and Mayweather they're going to be fighting on Sunday. But Triller, new to the sport of boxing, they wasn't really comfortable with that. They didn't know. They thought that it was that they're not going to be as successful. So here you go. The postponement after postponement after postponement, from the spring all the way to the winter. And of course, COVID was rampant. A bunch of fighters was catching COVID. Even Tyson Fury catch COVID. Virgil Ortiz caught COVID. Almost every fighter was catching COVID. Teofimo Lopez caught COVID. It was serious in the country. It was serious around the world. Raps on Boxing Knowledge, the voice of the UK London. But we still respected the move, the empowerment move that Teofimo Lopez did. But guess what? But that empower move, your security in terms of your protection, because now you heading into the zone. Top Rank is not going to give you not even camp fee. Now you got to pay out of pocket because the zone took over the Triller. So now Teofimo Lopez get paid a little less what he was going to get paid, but still. Guess what? Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos is the only fighters that have paid belt fee and sanctioning fees for the WBC franchise that don't no longer exist. So I understand the frustration of the boxing fans that don't like the WBC. We seen this in broad daylight. We see the politicians of the sport of boxing trying to play Tio. We see the fans trying to play Tio, and all Tio did was there to be great. All Tio did was give the fans what we've been begging for. We want fighters to fight like it was back in the day. Tio did that. But the boxing world, especially in America, and this is the reason why American boxing, it is what it is, we never satisfied. We shit on our own. We shit on everything that's great on the pursuit of greatness. Tio lost a split decision loss with George Kambosos. Not taking nothing away from George Kambosos. He's a man. He's a trained for the fight. He did what he had to do. Came from Australia. He fought his fight. Tio lost a split decision. Yeah, maybe if it was Top Rank, the political side of things, because we do believe in the political side of things, that, you know what I'm saying, why would they, they'll give the split decision. Remember, you got to take it from the champion. We're going to go, remember the phrase of today. Remember the phrase of today. Take it from a champion. So many people talking about that. So many people talk about in reference to the assessment of Shakur versus Tio is that the reason why some people feel like Shakur is going to be highly successful versus Tio is because the same type of game plan, the same type of approach you think Shakur is going to do what Jermaine Ortiz did, because in your own delusional noggin, you thought that Jermaine Ortiz beat Teofimo Lopez. You just didn't expect that from Jermaine Ortiz, and you just wanted to see Teofimo Lopez fall because you were a hater. And then with Sandor Martin, okay, a flash knockdown, but Teofimo Lopez outpointed Sandor Martin 8 out of the 10 rounds. Easy fight to score. But no, because you don't expect nothing from Sandor Martin and you want to see the fall of Teofimo Lopez, your delusional mindset, well, Sandor Martin won the fight. So you think that's the approach. But like I said, the Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz took advantage of the opportunity to take it from a champion. Remember the phrase of the live, take it from a champion. Is a phrase that we've been talking about in the sport of boxing for years and decades. Take it from a champion, right? Am I right or wrong, ladies and gentlemen? I know this is my sport. I know what sport. I know the lingos. I know the lingos in the sport of boxing. We got a lot of phrases and myths in the sport of boxing, right? Styles make fights, right? Championship rounds, right? You got to take it to the champion, right? You got to beat the man to be the man, right? These are phrases. Let me know if I'm wrong. These are phrases that we all heard in the sport of boxing, right? You could put more phrases, right, in the sport of boxing. This is the sweet science, right? Hit and not get hit, right? There's a lot of things that we know in the sport of boxing, phrases. We know when we go to the championship rounds. What is it? The boxing fan really takes serious the championship rounds. See, in the championship rounds, especially because I got to mention this fight because I know that many people remember this fight. We always remember the Oscar de la Hoya and Tito Trinidad. See, the reason why Tito Trinidad won in a lot of people's eyes and in the scorecards is because in the championship rounds, Tito Trinidad took it to Oscar de la Hoya when Oscar de la Hoya regressed and started running. To this day, we always debate that fight. Everybody always goes back to Oscar de la Hoya and Tito Trinidad, and we give that example of taking it from the championship rounds. Who wants it more? But when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, all the phrases go out the window. In the championship rounds, did Teofimo Lopez knock down George Kambosos? Yes or no? In the championship round, that Teofimo Lopez knocked down George Kambosos, and George Kambosos was hurt. He was beating him up all through that 10th round. 11th round, and the 12th round, Kambosos, he was challenging. But the championship rounds, in all the scorecards, especially 2 out of 1, Teofimo Lopez won the championship rounds, and he's the champion. But when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, oh, no. The taking it from a champion does not count. When it comes to Teofimo Lopez, no. The runners can run all over the place. You like the runners versus Teofimo Lopez, but when it's Teofimo Lopez not in the ring and we just looking at any other fighter, we hate William Skull, what he did. We hate Shakur Stevenson, what he did versus Eduardo de los Santos, and we hate what Devin Haney did versus Jose Ramirez. But we love what Jermaine Ortiz did with Teofimo Lopez. We love what Sandor Martin did with Teofimo Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, stop me if I'm mother effing wrong. Please stop me. Stop me. Call me a liar. Call me a liar. Call me a liar. I'm just delusional. I didn't hear that. I'm delusional. We never made fun of and we never discredited and disrespected when Shakur ran from Eduardo de los Santos. No, I'm a liar. It was great. It was a sweet science. It was a great performance. I love it. Eduardo de los Santos, he's a bitch. He's dumb. He don't know how to fight. He don't know how to cut the ring off. No, that's not what was the issue. That was not their conversation. We didn't say, oh no, Jose Ramirez, he's dumb. He don't have a boxing IQ. He couldn't cut the ring off. No, Jim Langley, Antonio Tarver, Mike Tyson was fed up watching Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Fed the fuck up to the point where even Turkey Al Sheikh says no Tom and Jerry in the sport of boxing. Then that Sunday, we went to see Canelo versus William Skull, and to this day, I think William Skull ran so much, he ran away from boxing. We haven't seen William Skull since. We said, damn, William Skull was running from Canelo. Damn. We never want to see him again. But when Jermaine Ortiz ran from Tio, Tio lost to Jermaine. Tio can't cut the ring off. Tio don't have an IQ. Tio can't do this. Tio can't do that. You are
You's a liar.
Stop me if I'm wrong, please. The double standards, the hate for Teofimo Lopez run through your veins. Come on now. I know. The ugly truth versus the pretty lie. The ugly truth is Teofimo Lopez, and the ugly lie is Shakur Stevenson. If you've been following the channel, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know y'all tuning into Punch Wrong Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. Y'all already know I'm a fan of Shakur Stevenson as well. Those of you that have been following the channel, I'm a fan of Shakur Stevenson as well. But I've been hearing and listening to a bunch of predictions and breakdowns of Shakur and Tio. And it's not taking nothing away from Shakur Stevenson. Is that you really don't know why you picking Shakur to beat Tio. You picking Shakur to beat Tio because of the unknown. But that's a gift and a curse. You're picking Shakur Stevenson because you don't know where's Tio gonna show up. That's the reason. Because you can't honestly tell me that Shakur got a better resume than Tio. You can't tell me which skill set been tested more at the highest level. You can't tell me it was Shakur, right? You can't tell me who got better experience, who got better resume. You can't seriously look into my eyes and put in the chat and say, Shakur. If I tell you, hey, folks, what is Teofimo Lopez's best victory? And then match it with Shakur Stevenson, you won't even want to get into that discussion. Because the last time I got into the discussion and I did a poll on YouTube, a poll on Twitter, and I asked the world of boxing, what is Shakur Stevenson best win? Best performance? I try to give it in different titles and verses. You guys say William Zepeda. Oh my God. William Zepeda. Versus Lomachenko pound for pound. Josh Taylor pound for pound. And not only, folks, not only is that Lomachenko was pound for pound. Not only that Josh Taylor was pound for pound and had one of the best undisputed run into getting his undisputed. Out of all the undisputed of this generation, top 3, Josh Taylor. The resume speak for itself. The tournament and all that shit, right? But they're southpaws. See, you can't even get in the discussion of, sometimes we look at fighters and be like, we don't know how they are with slick southpaw fighters. We don't know how they are with a southpaw. Well, Teofimo Lopez's best victory was against southpaws. Where they got the best footwork. Teofimo Lopez beat the tallest 140. He beat a short Lomachenko. He beat speed, intellect, footwork, the best footwork in the sport of boxing, right? Many people say that. Even Roy Jones Jr. said that Vasily Lomachenko, technical-wise, is number 1. The footwork of number 1. So what y'all gonna give me? Are y'all gonna give me a new narrative that Shakur Stevenson got better footwork than Vasily Lomachenko? Nah. Teofimo Lopez already beat the best southpaw boxing had to offer. Teofimo Lopez beat the best southpaw at the time that boxing had to offer. Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I not speaking on boxing logically and objectively? Or y'all gonna lie to me? Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Right? I mean, we got to, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something like this. I know that we're living through technology right now. And because of technology, a lot of people have adopted a perception lifestyle. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to pretend. Look at the title. Look at the thumbnail. The ugly truth versus the pretty lie. Teofimo Lopez already proved to you who he is. Teofimo Lopez already proved to you at the highest level in the division that he has campaigned in, beat the best. There was nobody better than Josh Taylor at 140. There's nobody better than Lomachenko at 135. It's the peak. He proved to you already. This is not when we look at Teofimo Lopez, it's not a guessing game. It's not a guessing game. Like with other fighters, we have to be like, yo, we got to give them time. Let's see if their power, you know what I'm saying, they're getting older. Let's say they get into their math strength. Let's see what happens if when they go extra rounds. Let's see if they pass the 8th round or the 12th round. Let's check their stamina. Let's check their heart. Let's see if they could take a hit. Let's see their chin. Let's see if they could adjust. Let's see the Teofimo Lopez already done it for y'all. T already did it. But we're living in the world of perception and not reality. You're choosing perception over reality. That's the reason why you got Shakur Stevenson beating Teofimo Lopez. Because society itself tells you that it's better and is more comfortable to believe in perception than reality. That's what social media has done to people. You ain't gonna put your worst day the way you ain't gonna put the worst day looking wise. You ain't gonna put anything that you going negativity in your life. That's not what you're gonna put on your IG. That's not what you're gonna put on your Facebook. That's not what you're gonna put on YouTube. That's not what you're gonna put on Snapchat. You gonna put the pretty lie. Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, I know men that they don't take care of their kids. But damn, when it comes to photos, man, they every time they get their kids like once a month, they see their kids probably only in the summer. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to say that I don't want to go into the people's private life, because there is scandalous situation. There is scandalous women that try to keep the father away from the kids, or the kids away from the father and stuff like that. So I understand that. But perception, they could put a photo of their kids and act like they're wonderful fathers, but they really deadbeats. But the perception is that they're taking care of their kids. How many times you see that, folks? I know you got a cousin, maybe your own brother, your cousin, brothers, friends that they not a father like you, but they put their kids up even more than you, acting like they take care of their kids. There's a lot of men out there don't even know the shoe size of their own children. Perception. Perception is the new reality. And because perception is the new reality, the perception of Shakur in your mind beats the reality of Teo. There is no perception of Teofimo Lopez because Teofimo Lopez is a two-time lineal. There is no perception of Teo because Teo beat Loma. There is no perception of Teo because Teo beat Josh Taylor. There is no perception of Teo because Teofimo Lopez arguably got the best resume of his generation. There is no perception of Teo. The reason you got Shakur being Teo is because you just don't know which Teofimo Lopez is going to show up. Because you think, because the way that Shakur Stevenson looks versus Zapata, versus the electrician, versus Yoshino, versus Oscar, versus Casocial, versus Artem, versus Hearing, versus Nakatilia. You're basing off those performances to be the man that has proven to you that at the highest motherfucking level, I am the man. Tell me if I am lying.
You's a liar.
Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me. Tell me I'm lying. Prove to me. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Who got a better resume, Teo or Shakur? Tell me at the highest level who has beaten more pound for pound fighters, Teo or Shakur? Ladies and gentlemen, just because you take less risk, that doesn't mean you a better defensive fighter. See, y'all got it confused. See, folks, y'all got it confused. See, Shakur got better defense. No, Shakur don't have the intangibles nor the confidence to take the same risks that Teofimo Lopez can and does. He don't risk it like Teo. He don't risk it like Teo. When the tough gets going for Teo, with Vasily Lomachenko in the 12 rounds, he didn't run. Oh, he turned it up. He turned it up. When the tough guy going for Shakur, he ran. That's not defense to me. Oh shit, he didn't get hit. Edo de los Santos only landed 30-something punches. You think I'm gonna credit it because it was beautiful defense? No, I'm gonna say the motherfucker ran. The hardest, how many times, remember the myths, remember the sayings, remember the assessment that for years people been saying. How many times you heard this from coaches? The hardest fighter to knock out is those fighters that really doesn't take risk and try to engage. They're on survival mode. Let me tell you something about as great as Shakur can be, because there's fights where he look polished. There is fights where he stay in the pocket. There is fights that he does very. For the most part, I've given Shakur Stevenson the benefit of the doubt, even if he has a fight that I feel like, come on, man, you should have, come on, that's Nakatilia. And I do the same thing with Teo. When Teo performed versus with Steve Claggett, I said, Teo, you too good for that. You could tell Teo, you could tell his dad. I keep it real. That's, to be honest, folks, let me tell you like this. To be honest, that's the reason why we're cool. Let me tell you like this, folks. There's very few people in the sport of boxing that allows people like me to keep it unbiased, logically, and objectively. See, the thing I'm going to say like, well, people be, oh, yo, but you know Teo and Teo. You know what? Teo is a good enough dude that he allows me to be me, and he could be like, yo, Punch, come on, man. I don't agree with this. He could be like, I don't agree with this assessment, but he knows that it's coming from a place that I ain't gonna lie to you, because if I say, yo, this guy, I got love for this man, I got love for this dude, he's my friend, it's my job to tell him the truth and how I feel. Just like if y'all my friends, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to enable something. I'm going to tell you the truth. If Sean is doing something that, but I'm his boy, right? And I'm like, yo, nah, man, you wrong on this one. You could have done better in this one. Don't worry, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you my genuine opinion, because at the end of the day, I want you to be the best that you could be. These other people, 90% of the people in the sport of boxing, they only like you when you praise them. They only like you when you praise them and shit on everybody else that's linked to them as a potential opponent. As soon as you give them credit, their opponent, they don't fuck with you. They don't like you. You switched up. Stay on that side. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. I only could be cool with people that allows me to be me. That's it. I can't be no other way. I'm too old for that. I got kids. I'm too old. That's one thing. I'm from New York. I just don't sugarcoat shit. That's one thing. I've been dealing with this my whole life. I remember my mama used to tell me, "Mira, no hable así. Don't go outside and say that." When I used to talk about politics, she'd be like, "Eddie, don't go out there, diga eso. Don't say that." You know what I'm saying? People are not gonna understand what you're saying. Really, people could get offended. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but people could get offended. I've been dealing with that my whole life. I'm unfiltered. That's why I was my grandmother's best friend. I got an old soul. My grandmother was unfiltered. She will say anything. If your breath stinks, she's going to let you know that your breath stinks. If there's a lot of people in the room, she's going to tell you the breath stinks. And then people are going to be like, mira, doña Nila, no diga eso. Doña Nila, no diga eso. My grandmother will tell you your breath stinks in front of the whole world. I remember I was in church. We was in church when he was a little, and the offering plate was passed, and it passed like 3 times. And my grandmother was like, yo, pero mira ya, usted están abusando ahora. She said it loud. She makes sure that the pastor understand, like, yo, my man, you passing that offering plate quite too often. My grandmother was the type where I remember one time we was in church, and there's a woman, right? And she's catching the Holy Ghost, right? Well, pretending like she's catching the Holy Ghost, and she's like this, and she like that. And my grandmother's looking at her and said, and I'm like, abuela, you ever cursed? And I asked my grandmother, have you ever cursed the Holy Ghost? And my grandma said, no, pero no así. No, I see. And then I was looking at this woman for a while because I was just stuck on. She was going, you know, when you've been in church and you see when somebody's catching the Holy Ghost and they're going, wow. And my grandmother was like, that's not catching the Holy Ghost. She not catching the Holy Ghost. And my grandmother was trying to expose this, right? And this woman was going like this, nuts, right? And then in the railing, right? The woman like this, and she bumped her head, right? She bumped her head at the railing, and she goes like this. The woman was like this, and she goes. She looks around like for a good 10 seconds, and then she goes. And me and my grandmother started laughing, like almost like, you see, that's not the Holy Ghost. He said, because she was trying to explain that when God gives you that Holy Ghost, He's going to control you. He's not going to make you catch the Holy Ghost for you to bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? When you catch the Holy Ghost, God is not going to make you catch the Holy Ghost and you go across the street catching the Holy Ghost and the car hits you. That's not the way God is going. God is not going to allow you to catch the Holy Ghost for you to hurt yourself. You feel me? That's what my grandmother tried to explain to me. People want to be like, yo, but Punch, why you always you always trying to defend Tio? You know why? Because I seen the boxing world devalue and disrespected and drag Tio through the mud. And all this kid wanted to do is dare to be great. All this kid wanted to do. Yo, I know, yo, I'm gonna tell you like this. I've been in gyms, I've been in a lot of gyms throughout my life. I've been around fighters. Let me tell you something about this guy. And I'm not saying that Shakur is not like that. I've never been around Shakur Stevenson in the gym, right? But I also could tell that Shakur Stevenson got a chip on his shoulder. I could tell that Shakur Stevenson got a chip on his shoulder. I could tell the way that he mentors other kids. And to be honest, I could tell how I know fighters that looks up to Shakur Stevenson that's only like 3 years younger than him. Tio and Shakur has a similar mentality. They really want to be great. The difference between Tio though and Shakur is that Tio ain't had no cosigner. The difference between Shakur and Tio is that he didn't have a Andre Ward and a Bud Crawford and a Floyd Mayweather on his side to co-sign them and tell the world that this is going to be the next. Tio didn't have a hype. Tio didn't have a hype of Tio is going to be the next Roberto Durango or Macho Camacho. He's going to be the next. He didn't have that hype. He didn't have a country. It's Honduras, not like he's Puerto Rican and stuff. I'm gonna tell you like this: in New York City, the Puerto Ricans are the one that truly was supporting Teofimo Lopez on a come up. There was people that thought that he was Puerto Rican because Honduras is not really a boxing country. It was only Tio and his dad. It's not like Devin Haney. These guys are prodigies. Devin Haney came up with Roy Jones Jr., Zab Judah as his godfather. In the TMT gym where Floyd Mayweather pumping him, Floyd Mayweather Sr. training him like he had the best of the best. To be honest, compared to what these guys have in their corner and what Tio had to work with, these guys supposed to be way head and shoulders way above better than Teofimo Lopez. Tio met it straight from the mud. No cosign, no hype, no prodigy, no nothing. Teofimo Lopez is the only amateur fighter in the history of the sport of boxing of the United States of America that won the USA Olympic trials and didn't represent the USA. Let me say it again. Teofimo Lopez in the history of amateur boxing. I'm talking about probably almost 100 years old. Let's say 80. The only in United States American history that won the USA Olympic trial and couldn't represent USA. He did what he had to do in the amateurs. He did what he had to do in the pros. And the business and the promoters, the fans kept fucking him up. You guys didn't appreciate Teofimo Lopez. So when I see sometimes Teofimo Lopez go on his rant, when I see Teofimo Lopez on people like, yo, Teofimo Lopez crazy, you know who made him crazy? Y'all made him crazy. What y'all told Teofimo Lopez, with the feedback that y'all gave him, was that you could be whoever you want to be, just work hard and work hard and accomplish it and win your battles and stuff like that. You guys turn your back on Tio. I feel sorry for that kid sometimes. Because I know how much he won. I remember he was having a debate with Rolly. I think it was Rolly's coach, right? And it was online. I forgot. I think it was a small channel, and my fault that I forgot which channel it was. And Teo was pleading. I said, yo, I want to be great. And they telling him, but Teo, you got to understand it's a business. He said, I ain't come for the business like that. I just come to, that's my dream, is just to be great. That's it. So Teo's like, oh, so I got to dumb down. I got to dumb down for y'all. This is not what I work my ass off. This is not why I risk my life. I risk my life to be the best. Teo was the type where, remember, Teo was best friends with Rolly. But as soon as Rolly went to the 140-pound division, Teo gave him the middle finger. Like, I don't care about nothing. Nothing is stopping me to earn and achieve what I set myself to be. And that's why I said, I like Shakur Stevenson, but I don't think. But he has a cap for his greatness. He has a cap for his pursuit of greatness, because he wouldn't fight Keyshawn Davis at 140. If he has 3 belts and Keyshawn got 1 belt, he wouldn't fight for undisputed. So he wouldn't pursue the greatness. His friendship is more important than his legacy. For Teo, nah. His legacy is everything. Chris Padilla with the second super chat of the day. Oh shit, let me see if my fault. Caesar, bro, what's good? Thank you for the $2 super chat, my brother. Forgive me. And E-Man, the other day I seen the super chat, I didn't see it. Y'all know when I go on my rant, sometimes I be blacking out. Christian Padilla, good looking out. God bless you. Said, what up, Punch? Teo has Bruce Lee type reflexes. Teo will be doing a backflip January 31st. Teo's foot movement and strength will be too much for Shakur. But people think that Teo don't got no footwork. People think that Teo don't got no defense. No. That people just doesn't believe. They believe in the perception of Shakur Stevenson versus the reality of Teofimo Lopez. They analyze this fight, the worst Teo that you ever seen versus the best Shakur that you ever seen. And this is where people are going to get it fucked up. And I'm not saying that and look, in the end of the day, we still got to watch the fight. Anything can happen. Hey, guys, I thought that damn Canelo Alvarez was going to beat Bud Crawford. I was wrong, right? Shit, but I'm going to tell you like this. I'm right a lot of times, too. I was right about Teo versus Taylor. I was right about Teo versus Loma. I was right about, put it this way. If y'all seen my prediction for Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, the first fight, I picked Chris Eubank Jr. If you watch my prediction for the second fight, I picked Conor Benn. It came out the way that it came out. If you watch my prediction versus Povetkin versus Dillian White, I had Povetkin the first fight. I got it right. And then I say, you know what? The green shark, the big green shark, and I had Dillian White the second fight, and I won. I had Manny Serrano beating Katie Taylor. Guess what? I didn't get it right. I know a lot of y'all, probably if y'all old enough, that when y'all predicting Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas, I bet y'all pick fucking Mike Tyson to beat Buster Douglas. I know none of y'all were fucking geniuses and said, you know what, I think that Buster Douglas was going to go out there in Japan and beat Mike Tyson. I'm a genius. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong, because in the end of the day, it's the sport of boxing. A lot of people thought that it was dangerous for Devin Haney to fight Brian Noma Jr. I said that Devin Haney was going to school this guy, because I said that Brian Noma Jr. is one of the most manufactured fighters in the sport of boxing. Yo, so you got to be fair to Brian Noma Jr. Man, I know the sport of boxing, bro. I follow the amateurs. He was not a prestige amateur, nor he was a prestige pro. He got an upside down resume of 16 to 17 fighters. He is not going to do nothing to Devin Haney. What he did to Brian Noma Jr. That was an easy fight to predict. It wasn't even exciting. It wasn't even exciting to even watch film. Folks, I didn't even have to watch film like that. Like, I ain't had to study that hard for Devin Haney versus Brian Noma Jr. I said it's going to be just like the Regis Prograis fight, and it turned out to be just like that. So, Bert in the building. What's good, Bert? He said Shakur has not and will not whoop anybody's ass. He does have a good chance of winning a controversial decision versus Teo, of course. Because also Teofimo Lopez is not a notorious knockout artist. A lot of people was talking about, but Teofimo Lopez power has not transitioned into the... When we're talking about power, what are you talking about? You're defining... People are defining power with knockouts, one-shot knockout. I understand that Teofimo Lopez have spoiled the boxing world when he knocked out the champion Richard Comey in the second round with that shot. So of course, when you see that sometimes a fighter will spoil you on the come up, and you're gonna think that that fighter is always gonna be that fighter. Money May. Why we always say that Money May? Why we always look at Floyd Mayweather and we look at him like two different type of fighters, and we say Pretty Boy Floyd and Money May, because it's growth. The natural thing is when you're going up in weight, like a Floyd, like most fighters, the knockouts start slowing down. The more you get into that elite level, the knockouts start slowing down. Yet that's the reason why Bud Crawford gets a lot of credit. See, I didn't think that Bud Crawford was going to stop Sean Porter. I believe that Bud Crawford could outbox Sean Porter, but stop Sean Porter. Damn, Sean Porter is a very, very, you know what I'm saying, tough cookie to stop. Damn, Bud stopped him. Wow. I know there was a lot of people. I said that Bud was going to destroy Earl Spence. I said Bud is going to beat Earl Spence worse than a car accident. And people was coming to my channel saying, yo, don't joke like that, Punch. Now you're going way overboard. We haven't seen Earl Spence back. He beat him worse. He beat him worse than the car accident, folks. He did. So then, damn, at the elite level, you know what I'm saying? But that's why a lot of people deem Bud Crawford special. But even Canelo wasn't even knocking out people like that. He didn't even knock out Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know what I'm saying? But then people get spoiled by performances, and they think because of that one performance that actually defines who they are. Yesterday for 7 to 8 hours, because I'm a boxing fiend and I love watching film. I like slowing things down. I love learning, bro. I love learning. And it's one thing about boxing. I just don't watch highlights. And I know a lot of people do watch highlights. I could tell how people talk. I could tell. Tip in the building. What's going on, brother? I could tell. Last night, I think it was from 1 to 7. I was watching film. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. And I always been watching films. But this one, I was really like last night, I was just like really in the zone and studying boxing. I've been studying boxing ever since 11 years old. I got a bunch of tapes. I used to record all the Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr. I loved Mike Tyson. I used to love studying Frankie Randall. I love studying Henry Hank. That was one of my favorite old fighters. If you're talking about old fighters, I study Henry Hank. I like Sandy Sandler. I like Willie Pep. I like, man, I could listen. I got the Muhammad Ali album, bro. So I love to study. Right? So I'm studying Shakur and Teofimo Lopez 7 to 8 hours last night. Throughout the whole morning, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep till 10:45 in the morning, right? And I'm like, there's some holes in T.O.'s game that Shakur Stevenson could capitalize. And there's some habits of Shakur Stevenson that Teofimo Lopez is going to capitalize. Consistent habits that I haven't heard people truly talk about the habits of Shakur. Not everybody is a perfect fighter. So of course, when you're studying this, when you're studying the fighter, you want to look at their holes, you want to look at their habits. A great fighter will even understand how the fighter in front of him is breathing. You know what I'm saying? I say this. The same the same weakness of Tio is also the same strength. See, I'm studying 7 fights of Teofimo Lopez, right? And I'm studying 5 to 6, 7 fights of Shakur Stevenson. And if you really study Shakur and Tio, you will come out, everybody will, if we was in a class and we had to sit in a classroom and study this like if we was back in school, and the teacher is going to say, what is really the difference what is the eye-popping difference between Shakur and Tio's approach? And this is what you're going to get. In those 7 fights, Teofimo Lopez was 7 different type of Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez in one fight could establish a jab and win with a jab. And there's another fight where he's barely throwing the jab. He's letting his right hand dictate the fight. His straight right hand to the solar plex dictates the fight. And he's not even throwing a jab like that. One thing consistently about Shakur Stevenson is Shakur Stevenson has a measuring jab. Shakur Stevenson, truly, his approach to almost every fight outside of the William Cepeda, that was a little bit kind of different. But his approach, and that's why I gave the benefit of the doubt with Shakur Stevenson versus Ed De Los Santos. I gave the benefit of the doubt that he was hurt, because even when I was watching that fight, I said, damn, okay, Shakur Stevenson be working on the outside, but this is something, he looks like he's hurt, right? And I didn't know that he was hurt leading up to the fight or during the fight. I just noticed that it was too different, right? But Shakur Stevenson punch selection is very, very, it's highly the same in each and every fight. He wants to identify range by measuring the jab. And if you look at certain fights, even the referees have warned Shakur Stevenson about measuring the jab. And I just leaving the jab out there, measuring. Teofimo Lopez doesn't need, he's so athletic that and so confident that Teofimo Lopez doesn't need to use the jab to identify range. Teofimo Lopez uses his extreme footwork to identify his range. Teofimo Lopez work from the mid to close range. Shakur is effective from the mid and high range. But Teo is one of the fastest guys that could close the range and get out the way quicker than probably anybody in boxing right now. If you study, you will see. His strength could also be his weakness. Teofimo Lopez have a dynamic straight right hand to the body. But also when he connects that right hand, Teofimo Lopez gets in the habit of also squaring off when he throws that right hand, and sometimes gets him a little off balance, gets him a little in a place where somebody could counter. There was one segment that I seen, put it this way. There was one segment that I seen Teofimo Lopez get countered even while he landed a punch, but because he's so straight ahead, he throws the right hand versus Vasily Lomachenko. When he was throwing those straight right hands to the solo plex, it was perfect. It was wing. It was like bam and coming right back. It wasn't pam and staying there for like a second or two, coming back out. You know what I'm saying? With Loma, he was very, very disciplined in throwing that right hand and coming right back. Even with Josh Taylor, there was times when Teo threw that right hand, and but Josh Taylor was already at that time he knew he was getting countered. There was one segment when Teofimo Lopez threw that straight right hand and really got caught in a way like, oh shit, the footing is already there. I can't even, let me switch to southpaw right away. Shit, Josh Taylor's not doing nothing. All right, let me switch right back. I think in those moments, Shakur could capitalize off Teo. He could capitalize off Teo that other fighters haven't really capitalized from him. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes Teo could be sharp. Sometimes his best weapon, that straight right hand, could put him in dangerous position as well. But because what I said about Teo and Shakur is that Teo would take the risk to be in a position to be counter, but he trusts his speed, his twitch muscle way more than Shakur. See, Shakur trusts his eyes. Teo trusts his instincts, eyes. He parries the jab better than Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Like Teo could actually also take advantage of parrying that fucking measuring jab of Shakur Stevenson. He could hit that forearm. If Oscar Valdez could catch Shakur Stevenson's measuring jab, where Shakur Stevenson was like, oh shit, what the fuck this guy did? The thing is, Oscar Valdez just wasn't good enough. But Oscar Valdez was just too slow for Shakur Stevenson. Like he saw certain things, and I could tell Oscar Valdez was pretty smart for doing that. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty smart for doing that, right? But he just wasn't that dynamic enough for Shakur. Shakur's eyes, cat-like reflex, he does it, and his eyes is, you know what I'm saying? Like he see everything. Shakur see everything, but Teo see everything too. Teo counters. Teo has different type of defenses. Teo was more confident to throw his shot and know that if something is coming right back, but he has more confidence than Shakur that I'm gonna get out the way and I'm gonna stay there and I'm still gonna counter. Now, what happens when somebody throws multiple combo punches towards Shakur Stevenson? See, Shakur is the type to back up. Teofimo Lopez is the type to actually pivot. Sometimes he pivot, he turns you around. Shakur Stevenson, if you throw two shots, Shakur Stevenson is reluctant from two to three shots. Shakur Stevenson is really reluctant not to counter. He's just more of a defensive mode, and he will back up straight back. That's one thing that nobody has caught Shakur Stevenson going straight back. See, people see as defense, but let me tell you like this: the same mistake that Shakur does was the same mistake that Thurman did with Manny Pacquiao and moving in a straight line back, right? But he just got caught. The difference is Shakur, he moves on a straight back, but he's still on the defensive. He's still guarded. That's one thing about Shakur. Teo, he'll have his guard down, which is also a strength and weaknesses, because Teo with his guard down could disguise his hook, could disguise his jab to the solar plex. You know what I'm saying? He disguises his approach. He doesn't need a measuring jab. So he disguises his approach and his range and stuff like that by keeping his hands low, but also he's subjected to be countered. Teo trusts his reflexes just as much. Teo trusts his reflexes. Shakur trusts his guard, like guarding, like defending with his guard up. He's not willing to really keep his hand down and really try to, as soon as Shakur puts his hand down, Shakur gets caught with some shots, and then he gets back. Like he just can't take the type of risk that Teo can. That's what I noticed. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson has a very underrated body work. Shakur Stevenson likes to counter to the body, and when he counters to the body, he hit that is beautiful shots in the inside. He don't do it enough, but let me tell you like this: Shakur Stevenson has an underrated counter to the body. He does a good job with that. Shakur Stevenson, if he gets on the inside, his clinch game is not that good. But I'm not gonna say that Teo doesn't like to clinch either. So you're going to see two fighters fight a very clean fight. That's one thing about Teo, and that's one thing about Shakur. Both of these guys fight clean. They don't like to smother their work. That's one thing about Teo. That's one thing about Shakur Stevenson. They don't like to smother their work. So Teo gets caught. Teo gets hit, but it doesn't. When he gets hit, it really doesn't switch. Like, it doesn't really switch his style up. It doesn't switch his momentum up like when he gets hit. When Shakur gets hit, Shakur get on full defensive mode. He ain't going to throw a point. He's going on full defensive mode. You know what I'm saying? So Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez has a similar mentality when they go to the body. Shakur Stevenson likes to throw that straight left to the body, but he got to get he don't do it enough because he don't like to be in close range that much. He likes to be in the mid and out. Teo likes to be in the mid and close. You know what I'm saying? So Shakur, he likes that straight. If he gets to the inside, he likes that straight to the straight left to the body. He could come with a right cross as well, and that's it. He'll back up. He ain't going to try to stay there too long. Teo would like to throw that straight right, also with the left hook. So in certain instances, Shakur and Teo mirrors each other, and when they do attack the body, they do mirror each other there when they do attack the body. You know what I'm saying? The straight left of Shakur and the straight right to the body with Teofimo Lopez is good, but Teo already seen at the highest level, he has paralyzed fighters going straight to the body. His punch to the body affects fighters more than Shakur, even though that we see Shakur Stevenson put down fighters with body shots like he did. What was his name? that he countered with a body. Damn, I forgot his name. I forgot his name, but he countered a great shot to the body. He put him down. Even the electrician, he invested the body very, very well. He did a good body work with Yoshino as well. So I don't hear a lot of people talk about Shakur Stevenson body work, but looking at a lot of film, especially yesterday, his body work is highly effective. The question is, does he want to stay in the line of fire with Teofimo Lopez? See, Teo footwork, when it's compared to Shakur Stevenson, is highly underrated. And I don't know why. I don't know why people see, like, again, when I'm analyzing and making a prediction of Shakur versus Teo, I am predicting the best Teofimo Lopez versus the best Shakur Stevenson. If you're predicting the worst Teo versus the best Shakur, you're predicting it wrong. You're analyzing it wrong. If you're predicting the worst Shakur, like if you're predicting the Shakur that fight Eder de los Santos versus the Teofimo Lopez that beat Vasily Lomachenko, you're predicting it wrong. You got to predict the best Shakur Stevenson, all his attributes at his best that we have witnessed, right? Not what we think, but we have witnessed, because that's what I'm talking about, perception. People are picking Shakur off certain perception. I can only pick Teo of what I've seen, and I can only pick and analyze Shakur how I seen Shakur, but at the highest level. You know why? Because Shakur is preparing for the best Teo, and Teo is preparing for the best Shakur. So if they are preparing for their best, why don't you, as a boxing fan, prepare your prediction as the best Shakur versus the best Teo? Caesar, the building con los 10 pesos de Super Chari Party. ¿Qué me dice? Punch. Teofimo Lopez considered an elite fighter due to formidable combinations of skills, including explosive speed and power, high ring IQ, and excellent counter-punching abilities. One thing that is different, though, and good looking out, man, appreciate you, that is eye-popping different, like I said. There's 7 Teos. Teofimo Lopez have won in different ways with really, like, in a very different approach. If you look at Teo versus Arnold Barboza, is a way different Teo than when he's facing Arnold Barboza to a Comey, or even Taylor, or even, it's way different. Versus Arnold Barboza, Teofimo Lopez is doubling, tripling, and quadrupling the jab. Teofimo Lopez establishing his jab. If you look at Teofimo Lopez versus Steve Claggett, Teofimo Lopez threw almost 900 punches. Teofimo Lopez usually average 400 to 500 punches. Five is like 4 or 5. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson average around the same amount of output. For a lightweight, I don't think that Teofimo Lopez throws enough, right? And I don't think that Shakur Stevenson throws enough as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Shakur Stevenson is measuring jab, and yeah, he throws a jab, but a lot of this. Is a lot of this, and sometimes the copy box count this. You know what I'm saying? So people talk about mentality. They have different mentalities. It could take the best out of Teo and it makes and see the worst out of Teo. Caesar. You're looking now. Gifted 5 Punch Wrong Boxing membership. I appreciate you, my brother. Good looking now, man. Appreciate you. Gracias, Caesar. Con la bandera de Mexico. So we say that in sports, what they say, that 80% physical, 80% mental, 20% physical. In the sport of boxing, I'm gonna tell you like that, man, it's 50-50, man. It's 50-50. Certain people win of having balls and particular fortitude. Like we seen, you could be a skillful fighter, and we seen Ricardo Mayorga beat Forrest. Flores was way better skillful fighter than Ricardo Mayorga. So it really doesn't have to do with the skills. It has to do with the game planning, confidence, particular what this person could take as well. Alberto Puello is a better skillful fighter than Subriel Matias. But Subriel Matias just took it to him. He didn't give a damn. He had his hand down like, dame lo que tú quieras. I'm gonna take your best shot, and I'm gonna go straight through you, bro. That's how Subriel Matias beat Alberto Puello. He just went straight through him. No sense of technical. No, vamos pelear. Vamos, nene, vamos, Domi, vamos a pelear ahora mismo. Boom, 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 boom. That's the way that he fought. No strategy. Of the words of Chris Eubanks Sr., no thoughts behind it. Sometimes that wins fights. The difference also in mentality is that Teo knows how to work under pressure. Teo knows how to perform when the world is against him, when the world thinks he's losing. It doesn't bring him down. It only brings him up. Shakur Stevenson strength is he doesn't care how he's going to win. He doesn't care how he's going to perform. He does not care about you as a fan watching him. He's going to work. He's clocking in and clocking out, and he doesn't give a damn. Teo's different, where we love that attitude, but because he cares about performances, because he cares about what the fans think, and because he cares about your dollar, and he cares that if he wants that he wants you to be entertained, Teofimo Lopez gets frustrated when the fighter is not willing to have that same type of mentality in the ring. You don't have to have the same skill set, but have the same type of mentality. Let's box, let's fight, let's see who's best. Bring your best, I'm gonna bring my best. So when Teo, yes, he gets frustrated with Sandor because Sandor Martin never fought like that. Sandor Martin don't fight like that. Go watch Sandor Martin versus Mikey Garcia. Go watch Sandor Martin versus, he don't fight like that. What made Sandor Martin fight the way that he fought? What made Jermaine Ortiz? I've been seeing Jermaine Ortiz since the amateurs. Jermaine Ortiz ain't never fought like that. But it's that straight hand to the body. What made Lomachenko not throw any punches, barely do any work? He got paralyzed for 6 and 7 rounds because that right hand to the body. See, Teofimo Lopez don't have to knock you out, but Teofimo Lopez could hit you with shots and your game plan is out the window. That's Teofimo Lopez power. Teofimo Lopez power is, I'm going to hit you in a certain spot that is going to question you throughout the whole fight. He did it with Loma. He did it with Ortiz. He did it with Sandor Martin. He did it with Barbosa. He did it with Josh Taylor. That straight right hand to the body does something to people when Teofimo Lopez lands it in the beginning of his fights. That dictates Teofimo Lopez fights. That dictates his range. But that's the same punch also that got him off balance and got him knocked down by Sandor Martin. His reflexes, having his hand down, is the same reason why he could get caught with that straight right hand by George Camboso. And guess what? There have been people that have been saying, yo, keep your hand up as well, right? Even before the George Camboso. But like I said, with Loma, it was different. With Loma was different. With Taylor, that's why when people say when the lights are bright, Teofimo Lopez makes minimal mistakes. Taylor, Loma, Barbosa, that was pressure. Yeah. Teofimo Lopez wasn't fighting a pound for pound fighter, but that Barbosa fight was a lot of pressure. It was still, and it felt like a disrespect also. I'm the only ring champion. We fighting in New York City. I'm born in New York, and I'm playing third fiddle to Ryan Garcia that got suspended, Devin Haney that got his ass whooped, and I'm have I'm the one that's been winning, and I'm playing third fiddle. And leading up to that event, the people that had, if anybody would be upset, most of the people said it will be Teo and that Barbosa, and Teo was the closest fight in margin. So Teo had the more pressure. Devin just had the, let's see if Devin is back. But everybody already knew that Devin was going to be Jose Ramirez. People thought that round was going to be Rolly. People still question Teo versus Arnold Barbosa. The one that fought with flying colors and it was easy and pulled all the repertoire was Teo. Who was looking in that fight? Shakur. Look what Mike Tyson was saying about Teo. Look what Antonio Tarver. Let me tell you like this. You guys on YouTube. Yeah, us boxing content creators, subscribers and followers and stuff like that. Yeah, we got our fans. We like we have a preference of what skill set and what entertain us and stuff like that. But if you get into a serious conversation where it's not a debate and you have to really talk about Teo at his highest and Shakur, that's when people be like, nah, I'm saying on the Shakur, Shakur is nice as that, but I'm just saying, but if Teo shows up, that's always the thing for people. When that Teo, if that Lomachenko Teo show up, shit's gonna be very tough to beat Teo. Because they know, see, when you talk about Teo at his best, he's second to none. When you talk about Teofimo Lopez at his best, he's second to none. He got everything. 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 Teo has proven to you more than Shakur Stevenson. And maybe that's not going to win the fight. That's not going to win the fight. I'm not saying that's going to win the fight. What I'm saying is that's the proper prediction. Because we're making a prediction of what we experience of watching. I cannot, I'm going to tell you like this, folks. If I hated Teofimo Lopez, I can't predict that Shakur will beat Teo. I can only work with what I have. I can only work. Now, if I want to say, you know what? I think so, man. If Shakur do this, and I never seen Shakur do that. Like if Shakur do this and Shakur do that and Shakur, y'all make it like Shakur is Superman. He's not Superman. He's not the fighter that I look at Superman. He's got limitations. Teo don't. Teo hasn't shown me his limitations. The frustration with Teo is that people know that Teo could when anything less than Loma and Josh Taylor's are underperforming. Anything that's lower than beating Josh Taylor and the Say Lomachenko is underperforming. That's why people get frustrated with Teo. Because in all actuality, he can't do his performance versus Vasily Lomachenko because who's the pound for pound number one he's fighting? You understand? You can't outdo that performance right now. That's why people be like so critical of Teo. Because he became a champion by knocking out Richard Comey in the second round. So now you're looking at Teo like he's a knockout artist. That's number one. That's Teofimo Lopez's introduction to the championship level. He's a knockout artist. That's number one. Then Teofimo Lopez says, I can outbox the best technician this sport has to offer. So Teofimo Lopez in 2 fights showed you I'm a knockout artist and I'm the best technical fighter. I could be the best technical fighter. Everything else from there, you guys are not going to appreciate it. So I understand. See, the best, we seen Teofimo Lopez beat the best to be the best. Shakur Stevenson, best performance like I've seen in multiple polls, is Zepeda. He says, so according to Tio is a perfect boxer. Nobody's a perfect boxer. If that, and that's what I mean, if that's what you're hearing, is that what you're hearing, then, I mean, maybe I got to say it in Spanish. Do you want me to explain it in Spanish for you? And that's what I mean. Like, people just come to the channel and just like, they don't listen. Like, they're not listening. I'm only giving you what we see, what we watching. I never seen Shakur Stevenson fight an opponent that they're known for power, speed, athleticism. Ladies, can you, okay, folks, can you tell me an opponent that Shakur Stevenson fought that is known for athleticism? Oh shit, Shakur Stevenson is fighting this guy because he's highly athletic, got speed and power. He got dynamic and no. Stevenson said he knows Tio's flaws. I think that Shakur knows Tio, and I think that Tio knows Shakur. You got to know each other. They've been knowing each other ever since they was 11, 12, and 13 years old. They've been watching. They've been going to tournaments. They know each other. They're not best friends, but they know each other, just like Ryan knows Devin and Devin knows Ryan. Just like Lamar Roach knows Gervonta Tank Davis. These guys have sparred each other. These guys have worked with one another. These guys have traveled together. They know each other. So yeah, and knowing each other is what is. To be honest, I don't even think it's gonna be too much of the. Yes, of course, there's a skill set, but the knowing of each other for so long is what's gonna make this fight competitive. He said Sid Bayless de los Santos had the speed and power, athleticism, and stuff like that. He had it, but nothing compared to a Tio. We ain't look at the Edo de los Santos fight and say, you know what, Shakur's team is going to have problem with this athleticism and stuff like that. We ain't look at that fight like that. Edo de los Santos haven't emerged like that yet. Hasn't emerged like that yet. I also listened to what Shakur and Tio have said in the past. How they got hurt, from who they got hurt, how they got dropped when they got dropped. Put it this way. Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, I said that Teofimo Lopez strength, and sometimes Shakur and Tio can mirror each other when they throw their straight shots to the body. But Tio does it more to initiate his game plan, know where his fighter is at. Know he identified a range like that, and Shakur establishes it really with the jab. Tio could do that. You could see it. That's what I mean. That you could see a different Tio. He could fight like he fought Arnold Barbosa, and then he could just lead with the hook. I seen wrinkles, like they both good, but is that Tio, like if you do film study, you be like, yo, this approach is so opposite of this approach. How is he still effective in this approach where he's barely really trying to throw a jab to a Loma? But on a Barbosa, man, the jab was working perfectly. Damn, you be like, damn, Tio really can make his job easier when he throws the jab, but also he's very unpredictable. And unpredictability confuses his opponent and the preparation for his opponent more. The unpredictability. Is he going to come through the shoulder roll, the high guard, the crossing arm? Like what his defensive stand is going to be? Is he going to dictate it by the jab? Is he going to dictate it by going to the body, the jab to the body, and the straight right hand to the body? You know what I'm saying? Very different. Shakur Stevenson's approach to the fight and his defensive stand is highly consistent to who he is. Like I expect this Shakur to come to this fight, like in a certain way, certain approach. I don't expect Tio. I don't. In reality, Tio could. You know what? I'm not gonna throw that jab. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna work my feint. Silver with the $2 super chat says off topic, but how would Teo versus Floyd at 140 go? At 140. Floyd, you know that Barbosa Teo is a very hard man to beat. But that is like a Floyd at 142. You know, that the way that Teo fought Barbosa is almost is Teo, I mean Floyd is that 2.0. Floyd's combination power, Floyd inside work. Floyd is better in the clinches. They got a point where Pretty Boy Floyd was leading with the hook as well. It was a point where Floyd really abandoned the jab. They got to a point where Floyd even abandoned the jab. And even his father, I remember in the interview saying that he abandoned the jab. He got to go back into the jab. It'll be a tough fight. I mean, a fantasy fight is really hard to predict, really. Those are fantasy fights, you know what I'm saying? It's really tough, you know. And when you've seen too much of a great fighter like Floyd, you really, you try to be so unbiased to a breakdown. That's like, yo, how's it going to be with Teo and Duran or Shakur and Leonard? You know, it's very hard, you know what I'm saying? Because then we go to the 15 rounds thing. We haven't seen these guys in the 15 round fight, right? So we don't know their stamina up to the par. We don't know, you know. Lono's Boxing with the $2 super chats. Said, great technical breakdown, bro. We are the Lopez in 7. I think that Teo, I think Teo was going to hurt Shakur to the body. I think he can. And we already seen what, look, put it this way. He goes, Shakur says in an interview, yo, I've sparred Bam Rodriguez. Yo, Bam Rodriguez is a beast. Bam Rodriguez hurt me to the body. He said, Oscar Valdez hurt me to the body. Go watch the fight. And that's what I'm saying. You got to watch sequences. Oscar Valdez, when he threw combinations from the body and work his way up top. If you look at the second round, I believe so. Because Shakur does a good job for adjusting as well. He's a smart fighter. He's a smart fighter. You know what I'm saying? Can't take that away from him. He knows how to adjust. Teo, I think in the fights that we've seen, you know, I've seen Shakur Stevenson adjust. I've seen Teofimo Lopez get frustrated. We've seen Teo's frustration. We don't see Shakur frustration. One of the other things I'm going to say, and this, no disrespect to each corner. No disrespect to each corner, because that's the dynamic that we also got to talk about as well. Who's the coaches? What's the strategy? What's the game plan? At this level, game plan is just as important, right? Because, put it this way, Shakur knows Teo and Teo knows Shakur. Again, they've been fight. They know each other since the amateurs. They sparred each other. They watch enough of each other in the pros. Shout out to Shakur Stevenson's grandfather, and shout out to Teofimo Lopez Sr. Teo and Shakur have outgrown their corner. Not saying that they still can't be motivated, and I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm actually giving props to Senior and Shakur's grandfather. They done so good with their kid, with their well, Teo did with his son and his grandfather, that Shakur and Teo is really coming up with the game plan right here. I could tell in their fights. I could tell by the fights. I could tell by instructions through last several fights, and the instructions that were given by Teo Sr., the instructions that was given by I think his name is Wally, Shakur Stevenson's grandfather. And he said, great point. They need to be honest, it's not about needing a coach. They're Teo and Shakur are well-oiled machine. It's not about new coaches. They're so smart that they could study their next fight. They could study. That's it. They're already. It's almost like I'm gonna give you an example. Floyd Mayweather. A lot of people saying, "Yo, remember that back in the days of the debate? Nah, man, Roger Mayweather is the trainer." You got to give a lot of credit to Roger Mayweather. If you know Floyd Mayweather never changed his style from his father. Go watch Floyd Mayweather Sr. and go watch Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather didn't fight like Roger. Floyd Mayweather never switched his style. Floyd Mayweather already was a well-oiled machine when he had Roger in that corner. Floyd Mayweather was fighting the way that his father taught him, not the way that Roger had him. I've been following Floyd Mayweather. Pretty Boy Floyd was my favorite fighter growing up. Him, Roy Jones Jr., and Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather fought exactly like Floyd Mayweather Sr. Never changed. His way of fighting, he didn't fight. Roger had a way different style than Floyd Mayweather Sr. While Roger Mayweather is in the corner, let's not forget, if you remember a lot of fights with Floyd Mayweather's dad was in the front row. So what you're going to see is Floyd Mayweather like this, getting instructions. He's getting instructions from Roger, and he's looking at his father with the instructions. Roger was there, and yes, he polished. He sharpened his tools in preparation for a fight. But Floyd Mayweather already had the game plan. Shoulder roll, the jab, the combination, everything. Floyd Mayweather fight just like Floyd Mayweather Sr. And the thing is that the same thing with Teo and Shakur. That's why you see Shakur with a bunch of different coaches doing pad. You know what they are? They just there. Shakur Stevenson is just using them for him to sharpen their tools up because his grandfather can't do it. Same way with Teofimo Lopez Sr. You don't see Teofimo Lopez Sr. in the past too much. They got different coaches because they're too old already. You know what I'm saying? They got wear and tear. You know what I told Henry Garcia? Even before they hired Derek James, I said, "Yo, Henry," and Henry Garcia looking on. I said, "Henry, yo, it don't matter. Why don't you just coach?" He like, no. I want to give my son to I don't want, I want my son to grow. I said, you know what? Your son has not switched his style. Your son fights just like you taught him. It don't matter who he got in the corner. It don't matter if he got Eddie Reynoso. It don't matter if he has Derek James. Your son fights the way that you taught him. You got to get back in the corner, bro. He's just gonna be spending 20% just giving these coaches, and he's not fighting. He's not adopting it. At a certain point, these guys are well-oiled machines. Who's coaching Ryan Garcia right now? At a certain point, let me tell you like this. They're already training themselves. Certain fighters are just so smart and they stay in the gym and it's almost like you go to school and you take in everything your professor. You learn so much from a professor. You learn so much from a teacher. That's it. You don't need that teacher. You don't need that teacher on your side every day to learn something. You take whatever they give you, and if you want them as a mentor, that's who they are. Motivation, mentor, keep them back in line, a voice of trust that's going to keep it real with them and is not going to enable them. See, the reason sometimes they needed to keep that is because Teofimo Lopez Sr. is going to talk to his son like no one else. Some people's going to enable him. Senior is going to tell his son, "You're doing this wrong, Papi. You're going to do this. You got to do this. You got to do that." Floyd Mayweather Jr. needed to bring his father right back in the corner because ain't nobody going to talk to Floyd Mayweather like his father talks to him. He don't care about his money. He don't care about anything else. Floyd, you got to do this. Floyd, you got to do that. Just remember that sequence when Floyd Mayweather Sr. and he says, and Floyd Mayweather gave him instructions, and he said, Floyd, you're not listening. And Floyd Mayweather repeated each and every word that his father said, and he's looking at his opponent. Floyd Mayweather was already a well-oiled machine. You know when you really saw that he was a well-oiled machine? After when Zab Judah in the Zab Judah fight, when they took Roger Mayweather out of the corner, and then in the next fight, he had Leonard Ellaby in the corner. How did Floyd Mayweather do? That's when you knew. And that's what I remember when I was young. I'm like, yo, I used to argue this because I used to be like, nah, Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather Sr. is the man. Because there was a one time everybody was trying to shit on Floyd Mayweather Sr. because he used to talk a lot and give a lot of credit to Roger Mayweather. I say, nah, that's Floyd Mayweather Sr., bro. That's Floyd Mayweather Sr. That's Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather fights like his dad. Nah, that's his dad. He never switched up. Floyd Mayweather didn't need Roger. You saw that in the Zab Judah fight. He didn't need him in the next fight when he had Leonard Ellaby. He didn't have a trainer. He had a cut man. He had his cut man and Leonard Ellaby his friend. At this point, you got enough money. You bring coaches around to sharpen your tools. But the game plan, Tio, he's doing the game plan. Yeah, they're going to be some. His father of course, his father done a wonderful job up to that point. Why you think Devin Haney could do so well with Bill Haney in the corner? And we know that Bill Haney is not actually training Devin Haney. Bill doesn't train Devin. At this point, these guys in the corner are just now coordinators. Shakur is calling the shots and is going to adjust the way that Shakur is going to adjust. And the same thing goes for Teofimo Lopez. They're 28 years old. That's it. They are who they are. They're going to implement, and some of them that we might not have, we haven't probably seen people bring the best out of them. Maybe Tio is going to bring something out of Shakur Stevenson that we haven't seen. Can we say the same thing for Shakur bringing that out on Tio? Because I already seen it. Yo, Punch, you're missing one question on your survey that is none of the above. I can only put 4 because I really want to know why people is picking Shakur. I want to be like, it has to be because I'm going to be, they're going to be like, because he got better skills, but better skills was tested by whom? We know the skills that was, Tio's skill set was tested at the highest level. So it's easy to say, well, Shakur seemed like he got more skills, but then if you're going to tell me that his best win was William Cepeda, then I'm going to be like, okay, so you comparing his skills being tested by William Cepeda and Tio's skills been tested by Loma and Taylor? Look at Shakur versus Artem. Who he was listening to? He was listening to Bud. Wally was giving him all the instructions, and Shakur is fighting Wally. Like, nah, he's listening to Bud. Yeah, don't worry, I got him. He ain't listening. That's it. Is at a certain point, that's it. And that's a credit to Tio Sr. and to Wally. You build these fighters to the point, it's almost like a parent, bro. I always say that boxing translates to life itself. I always say that we all live in a 12-round bout. It's the same thing. My oldest son is 18 years old. I already established and build my son from the ground up with the help of his mom, but I already gave my son a core value, a way of look, but I still mentor him. I've transitioned. I've always been a father, friend to my son, but now I'm transitioning and now allowing him to accomplish and make his mistakes, but the core value is already there. You understand what I'm saying? And it's the same way as coach. I can't be there. I can't be, micromanaging my son throughout his life and do this. You got to do that. Now you already learn how to go by things and how to go by that. You know what I'm saying? You have a core, you have a center, And that's the same thing as coaching. As a father and as a parent, you guide, you coach, you mentor, you love unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? You sometimes most of the time growing up, they make mistakes and you clean it up. The older they get, they make their mistakes. Then they got to learn from their mistakes so they can learn, and then they can transition to them to be a parent themselves after that. Right? So it's the same thing with with coaches, especially with a T.O. Senior with T.O., a Bill Haney and Devin, a Henry Garcia and Ryan, Ino Uwe and his dad, and you know what I'm saying? Now is they already know what they got to do. Floyd Mayweather go back in the corner and be like, yeah, I know, I saw that, I know. Then he was telling Senior what he already seen. Yeah, I know. Tio will go back to the corner and his father's telling him, yeah, I know. Work the jab. The jab is doing this. Chewy. Yeah. I'm going to stay with, yeah. Stay. Now they're there for reinsurance. You understand? Now that's the reinsurance. That's a trusted voice and the reinsurance. It's just like what if my son has a game, he knows how to shoot a jump shot. He knows how to defend. If my son scores, I'm in the stands, my son will look at me for. If he makes some mistakes, I could see my son glance on me. If he throws a turnover or something like that, he'll glance at me. He'll say, yeah, my bad. You know what I'm saying? And before me saying something, he already will repeat it. Yeah, my bad. I should have did this. I should have shot that. I should have whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reassurance that I'm doing something good. Am I effing up? Damn, I'm effing up. Damn, pick it up. It's just like Bud Crawford and Bomac. Bud Crawford and Bomac been together for how long? So when Bomac tells, hey, yo, my man, you losing, you got to pick it up. Well, he did. What did Bud Crawford did? What did Bud Crawford did in the Sean Porter fight? But also, Bud Crawford is smart enough at this age and his experience that sometimes they're more confident than their own corner. The Hangout Spot, what's good, my brother? Just like Bud Crawford had to listen to Bomac and say, you're losing, bro. You're losing. He go, what? I'm losing? What? And then he went out there and stopped Sean Porter. Yeah, if you look at the Canelo fight, and Bomac said, man, you don't got to do that. Remember after the 9th round, you don't got to do that. See, Bomac was already afraid because he's like, no, that's not. Let's keep on doing what we doing. Stay on the outside. But Bud Crawford knew if Bud Crawford didn't turn it up and didn't exchange with Canelo Alvarez in that 11th and 12th round, he would have lost that fight in the scorecards. If Bud would have listened to Bomac, and Bomac telling him, you don't have to exchange. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that because even Bomac, just like the world of boxing says that Bud could beat Canelo if he does stay in the outside, be slick in the outside. And a lot of people didn't say, yo, you gotta take that risk. You gotta exchange with Canelo and win the exchanges. See, that's what people, even the Bud Crawford fans was not prepared for Bud Crawford to do. Exchange with Canelo Alvarez. We didn't go into this fight saying, no, Bud Crawford got a chin better than Canelo Alvarez. We walked out of that fight saying that Bud Crawford got a better chin than Canelo. And I'm bringing that analogy right back to the beginning of the live. What is the quote of the day? Take it from the champion. See that? I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing back the mentality that we all know as hardcore boxing fan, what we would tell a challenger to do when he's fighting a champion. If it wasn't for Bud taking it to Canelo Alvarez in the championship rounds, he would have lost that fight on the cards. Whether we like it or not, whether you will find that says, oh no, Bud Crawford won 117, 111. No, Bud Crawford won a wide scorecard. if he did not take the 11th and 12th rounds and exchange with Canelo Alvarez and be in the line of fire, Bud Crawford would have lost the fight on the scorecards versus Canelo Alvarez. He needed to take it from Canelo. Tito Trinidad needed to take it from Oscar de la Hoya. So when you come over here and tell me, well, Punch, Jermaine Ortiz, he ran, and I think he lost. I think that Tio lost to Jermaine Ortiz, and Sandomon, I think he lost to Sandomon. I think Tio lost. The common denominator is that Jermaine Ortiz nor Sando Martin went to take it from the champion, then thus them losing. So now when you give me the analysis and the breakdown of Shakur versus Tio, the question is, will Shakur take it from Tio? You don't got confidence in Shakur in that. In all the skill set of Shakur Stevenson defensively and what you feel about him offensively and what you feel about him right here, this is one thing you cannot answer about Shakur, that it will not come out of your lips. Can he take it from Tio? If it's going to the championship rounds, I think Shakur got more dog and he needs to take it from Tio. You can't come with that. You can't come with that analysis. I could come with it when it comes to Tio. You can't come with that with Shakur Stevenson. The question is, this is a big fight, generational fight, a fight that the judges have to score this respectfully, right? No politics, no corruption. The challenger is Shakur. Tio is the champion. He's defending his title. His job is to defend his world champion. Shakur Stevenson, his job is to win the world champion. So can somebody from the pundits, from the legends, from the people that break down boxing, can you all give me that answer? Because for real, from Andre Ward, from Bradley, from Teddy Ellis, from anybody that been breaking down the fight that is picking Shakur, you have not told me one thing. Can Shakur take it from Tio? Never. To this day, I've been waiting. Andre Ward, speak to Punch. Bradley, speak to Punch. Any pundits, tell me, can Shakur take it from the champion? Because to be the man, you got to be the man. That's what I've grown up in watching boxing. Andre Ward, to beat Kovalev, you had to take it from Kovalev. That's why there was a rematch. Why are you scared? Why are people scared to say, yo, Shakur, nah, he got to take it from Tio? No. No. You don't even want to put, hey, yo, I could even say, why don't y'all say that Shakur Stevenson should adopt the mentality of George Camboso? Isn't George Camboso the guy that beat Teofimo Lopez? But guess what George Camboso did? He fought. He had to go to war. Let's not forget that it wasn't easy for George Camboso to walk the line of fire. Oh, he got hurt. He got bloody. Let me tell you like this. George Camboso may have beaten Teofimo Lopez, but the man took a beating as well, and he wasn't the same after that fight, even in victory. Or you could come around and say, well, George Camboso wasn't shit anyway. No. George Camboso was a nice quality fighter that beaten Mickey Bay, that beat Lee Selby. He had great momentum. Manny Pacquiao, he was sparring with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao said that George Camboso is his favorite sparring partner. He prepares him. He had over 200 sparring rounds with Manny Pacquiao. So yeah. I understand a lot of people, I even told you, go back to the archives. I told y'all, I said it on, and people were saying, yo, Punch, shut the fuck up. Tio's going to knock him out in the third round. I said that George Camboso is going to be a harder fight for Tio than Lomachenko. Y'all thought I was on drugs. Y'all thought I was drinking too much moonshine. He said, Cambosa C plus. He said, stop it. Aftermath, Tommy. That's what I'm talking about. Let's talk boxing. Take your feelings out the way. Yes, he's a C plus fighter, but guess what? Mike Tyson, one of the greatest of all time, lost to a D plus fighter in Buster Douglas. It ain't gonna take nothing away from Mike Tyson, right? Muhammad Ali said that his biggest challenging fights, guess who he said? Let me show y'all know history. You can't AI this. Muhammad Ali said that his toughest opponent was Georges Chuvalo from Canada. He fought Muhammad Ali, I believe, 3 times. They asked Muhammad Ali back in the days, who is the hardest fighter that you ever fought? He said Georges Chuvalo. Who is Georges Chuvalo? In the history books. Sometimes the fighter that brings it to you and makes you look ordinary is a fighter that you don't expect. Who you think is Majumov, buddy? Huh? Hey, put it this way. George Kambosos have beaten more noticeable before Teofimo Lopez. George Kambosos has beaten more noticeable fighter than even Majumov. But Majumov gave Bud Crawford a run for his money, right? Right? What is Majumov? Because just like another way around, they could have easily given it to Majumov. Let's not forget that the scorecards was 115, 113. In 2 scorecards, I believe so. Let's not forget about that. Could have easily given it to Majumov, and people would have been like, oh, shit, no, shit. Yeah. Yeah. But Crawford was exposed by a C minus fighter. If George Kambosos is C plus, yeah, Majumov is C minus. But then Bud Crawford went on and beat Canelo Alvarez. He said, you give a terrible examples. No, I give the examples that you are scared to actually agree with. But I'm not giving no terrible examples. I'm giving facts. Majumov made Bud Crawford look ordinary. Facts. I don't want to hear this. Well, Majumov, you can't even check Majumov professional level. You got to be like, but Majumov had 300 amateur fights. You guys don't know boxing. You know what I'm saying? And Majumov had, who he beat? He had 300 amateur fights. Shut the fuck up. Exactly. Ordinary. Majumov made Crawford look ordinary. To where Bud Crawford was heading into that fight, he looked ordinary. Some fighters do that, bro. It's a sport. I don't get carried away with that. I think fans get carried away with it. Nowadays the fans has become so much bougie that even if you knock down or even wobble a fighter, he doesn't have a chin, he's exposed. Blah, 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 blah. Who got better skills? And people deem skills. Who's more special, Virgil or Bud? People say, of course, Bud. But Virgil, look how he took care of Majumov. So, it's the same thing, man. Lomachenko didn't make Devin Haney run. Brian Norman Jr. didn't make Devin Haney run. Jojo Diaz didn't make Devin Haney run. But shit, Jose Ramirez made him run. Shit, what? Well, Jose Ramirez don't even have good momentum. The less narrative you come up with, the less narrative you could come up with, the better, and you go from the X's and O's. And you could talk about this fight, you know what I'm saying, intellectually, logically better. This fight is I'm going to tell you like this. This fight is so good that you don't have to bring narratives around. This fighter's so good. Even if you're a fan of Teo or a fan of Shakur, either or, you hate whatever. You know who's the real winner? We winning. If Shakur loses, damn, Shakur lost to Teo. If Teo loses to Shakur, shit, Teo lost to Shakur. Now, what's going to be our job? Our job is to we preach and beg these fighters to fight the best fight the best. Are we asking these fighters to fight the best so when they lose to the best, we throw the other guy in the garbage? Then that's the reason why the business of boxing doesn't want to put the best, because the American boxing fans, you would throw that guy in the garbage. But yet we contradict ourselves and say we want these fighters and boxing today to be like back in the days. But guess what? Roberto Duran beat and lost to Sugar Ray Leonard. He lost to Hearns. He lost to Hagler. But we still respect Roberto Duran in the end of the day as still the Four Kings. He never lost the crown. Hearn lost to Hagler in the third round. Duran got knocked out by Hearn in the second round. We never snatched their crown away. So if Teo beat Shakur, damn, at least Shakur dared to be great. Got to give credit for Shakur Stevenson. If Teo loses to Shakur, shit, Shakur became a 4-division world champion. Olympian, should have been gold medalist. Man, he's been a prodigy. He's been hype. Everybody, but oh man, hey, he lost to the better man. This is a sport. And then we'll be like, you know what? Damn, we want to see Shakur versus Tanko. Hey, how about Shakur versus Haney? Oh, shit, what about Teo? Yeah, Teo Lopez. We still want to see Teo versus Haney. Oh, shit, Haney lost to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly Romero. You know what I'm saying? It's a sport. In the end of the day, we're forgetting for us is a sport. Yeah, the business of the boxing has become so much of a business and stuff like that. Yeah, they have been, you know what I'm saying, frustrating the boxing fans and stuff like that. But when we get a fight like this, it's not our job to now ask for something and then throw somebody in the garbage. That's not what we're doing it for. We don't watch the Super Bowl and let's say could be like the other year and it's like a Chief versus the Philly and say if Chief loses or the Philly wins and oh, that's it. That guy in the Super Bowl team there sucks. That's it. No, we go into the next football season predicting that these guys are going to be the best teams. Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. That's what happened when the best fighting the best. When Bivol beats Beterbiev, we still respect Beterbiev. When Beterbiev beats Bivol, we respect Bivol. When Canelo Alvarez get the draw with Triple G is still respected and Canelo respected. If Canelo beats Triple G never got off the pound for pound list. When Teofimo Lopez beat Vasily Lomachenko, they didn't take Lomachenko out the pound for pound list. Devin Haney got his ass whooped by Ryan Garcia. 2 fights later, Devin Haney become a 3-division world champion and being Brian Oman Jr. Put it this way. Devin Haney is in better position right now than Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia was the one that whooped his ass. Still, it's a sport. You keep going. But we do everything possible to keep fighters down, keep fighters and stuff like that. Not every fighter gonna be undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. Not every fighter gonna end their career like Joe Kawasaki and Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward. And they're gonna be some hiccups there throughout their legacy, just like there was hiccups there by Roberto Duran by saying no mas. Oh yeah, Roberto Duran, one of the kings, quit in real time. Can you imagine if Roberto Duran, when we have Twitter and IG and Snapchat and Facebook, would have quit today? Can you imagine the scrutiny and the criticism of Roberto Duran today if he says no mas? Could you imagine if Gervonta Tank Davis is fighting Shakur and he turns around and say, I don't want to do it no more? Can you imagine? But we still love Roberto Duran. We still love Mano de Piedra. And if we match Roberto Duran with any fighter of today, we'll be like, Roberto Duran will beat the crap out of them. But we seen Devin Haney get put down on the floor by Ryan Garcia several times, and he stopped getting back up. We seen that. We seen Teofimo Lopez get flash knockdown and get right back up. And we seen these fighters get frustrated at times, but they don't quit. Tio didn't quit with Jermaine Ortiz while he was running around. Edo de los Santos didn't quit when Shakur Stevenson was running around. We're forgetting about the sport. It's all fun and games, yes. In social media, the more toxic you break down boxing, the more people gonna like it because people like it. We can't wait to see somebody's downfall. That's our bread and butter in America, bro. You know why our bread and butter in America is to see the greats fall? It's because also the bread and butter in American sport is the Cinderella story, is the comeback story. That's the most lucrative, one of the most lucrative stories in sports is the comeback story. The comeback story. That's why in America, we build you to tear you down and then see you rise back again. And when you rise back up again, you the man. That's what we do in America. I've been saying this shit for a long time, ever since the beginning. If you look at my lives before, I remember I did a live and I was talking about Virgil and Boots. And I say, yo, Boots and Virgil, they love you right now. They're going to hate you. They love anybody when they climb in the ladder. Once you reach that, they're going to hate you. Just like Tio, just like Devin, just like Ryan, just like Tank, just like Shakur. We hype them up, and then they get into a position of being a champion. We break them down. I remember Edgar Berlanga knocking all these guys out. And then it got to the point where, well, I want to see Edgar Berlanga, how he does with his stamina and how he goes more rounds. That's not going to build him as a fighter. And then when Edgar Berlanga got put down, everybody started making fun of him. He's exposed. We want to see the worst. We gotten into the boxing fan gotten into a mode that we're not satisfied. We point at them and say be great, but what you really want to see is how they're gonna fall while they're trying to pursue greatness. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson of their generation is the best fight. Is the best fight with great momentum. Two skillful fighters. Two skillful fighters in their prime. Great momentum. Highly accomplished. Both fighters. This is the cream of the crop. So when there's people saying, I hear people online saying, man, I don't see no buzz to this fight. I don't see no buzz to this fight. Like I don't see people talking about this fight. Motherfucker, that's us. If you don't hear buzz about this fight and you don't hear people talking about this fight, then the hardcore boxing fan is doing a pretty damn bad job. Because this is a fight that we got to be talking about each and every day. We can't wait. I'm so hyped for this fight. What do you want to do? I want to talk about why Tank is not in the mix? Or you want to talk about the people that want to be in the mix and want dare to be great and want to be great and want to get and hold on, let me put this thing up. Y'all want to see that, right? Isn't that what it's all about for us? Or our job is to hate this? Is it our job to hate this? Is this what we beg these fighters to do, is to earn this for us to turn around and hate it? That's what we want to do? Is that what we want to promote? Do we want to promote, hey, yo, Tio, do this, do that. Oh, you ain't shit. Oh, you ain't ducking. Shut up. Oh, man. Oh, man. Is this what a guy's pursuing, but we want to take it away from him? You're not real undisputed. You're not real this. You're not real that. You're not that. Really? Anyway, there's going to be a great month, ladies and gentlemen, in sport of boxing. A great month, a great month, a great month. And great month, you already know this weekend we got Subriel Matias, Puerto Rican Matatang versus Smith. You already know they're going to be fighting in the Barclays Center, my city. You already know. And then you got January 31st. I don't know why they got the fight. I don't know why they got this fight, but I want to bring respect to Xander Zayas as well. You know what I'm saying? Xander Zayas, we talk about legacy reigning supreme. We talk about belts. Some people talking about the belts don't matter and stuff like that. Nah. If the belts don't matter, it's because the hardcore boxing fans want to spin a narrative on on which fighter you want the belts to matter. As much as I want to see, and I gotta set this tone because we need to stop this already. I want to see in 154-pound division. I call it the landmine division. Yes, I want to see Virgil Ortiz versus Boots. But Xander's eyes about to unify the titles at the age of 23 years old. And I think we need to talk about this more. As much that we talk about Virgil versus Boots, it's going to be for no titles. If Virgil beats Boots, it's only bragging rights. If Boots beats Virgil, it's only bragging rights. No. We just can't pick and choose win and love belts. Sorry, those days are over. We just can't do that, folks. We can't pick and choose when belts are important. Because maybe your favorite fighter don't got it, so belts are not important because your favorite fighter don't got it. Or because Tang doesn't go for legacy, then legacy don't matter. Huh? Because Virgil and Boots don't got world titles right now. Oh, well, belts don't matter. The primary fight is Boots and Virgil. Yeah, I love the fight. The 154-pound division is stacked up. But Xander's eyes about to unify the titles right now at the age of 20, at the age of 23 in the most stacked division in the sport of boxing. So shout out to Xander Zayas. He fought Patrick Teixeira. His resume is up to par as well. For his age, got to give him a lot of credit. Got to give him a lot of credit. Got to give Subriel Matias credit. He lost to Liam Paro. Got right back on his horse and beat Alberto Puello, who could have lost to Sando Martin, won a war with Sando Martin. Great fight. Could have gone either way. And that's what I mean, character. The boxing fans has gone away from also acknowledging the character of a fighter. Remember, I always say that boxing translates to life itself. We need to stop discrediting even when another human is just down. Give him allow him to get his back, allow him to get right back up. Fight Fury Films in the building. Fight Fury Films. T.O. set the stage for a big fight. Yep. Fight Fury Films. Happy New Year in the building with a $20 super chat. God bless you, bruv. God bless you, man. Yeah, man. And the good thing about it, too, man. Pat Nation in the building. Say, I'm rolling with T.O. with the $5 super chat. Pat Nation. God bless you, bro. Hope you had a great New Year's and holidays. Each and every one of y'all, man. Pat's in the building with the members. Let's go. I just don't like the date, though. I don't like the date that they put Xander's eyes on the same date that Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Hopefully it's an early fight, though. Maybe this fight could be early. Y'all remember when Earl Spence fought Leonard Bundu? That shit was a Sunday noon fight. It was, I think it was it was at 4 o'clock. It was afternoon. I'm sorry. It was at 4 o'clock. I remember in Coney Island. You know what I'm saying? We need to get them early fights in, bro. I hope they fight early. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I don't understand why they put it that date. Kind of weird. 2 top-ranked fighters. T.O. still lying with top rank. Xander's eyes still lined up with top rank. Wrong. El pastor de boxeo in the building. Dímelo. Wrong. I don't know if I'm going. I probably want to do the live, man. I don't know if I want to go to the fight, but I don't know. I'll see how. I would ask the people, would you want me to go live or not go live? I go to the fight, but then I wouldn't go live. But I think I want to go to the fight, of course, because I want to see my brother, my brother Teofimo Lopez make history, and I want to see a lot of people eat humble pie, and a lot of people, and I'm going to give my crow soup right back to the people when Teofimo Lopez beat Shakur. If he does, but it's going to be a wonderful fight, man. Respect to Shakur Stevenson. I always say respectfully. Now, you heard Ryan Garcia went to Maury to take a lie detector's test.
Did you cheat during the Devin Haney fight?
No.
True. Okay.
Ryan Garcia did not cheat. Ryan Garcia went to Maury. He took his lie detector test, and the lie detector's test determined Ryan Garcia was telling the truth. He did not cheat versus Devin Haney. But that's not going to overturn nothing. But guess what? Not even the overturn has overturned our thoughts on what happened that night in April 20th in the Barclays Center of 2024. And at the end of the day, Devin Haney still got to get his legs back. It don't matter if he beat Jose Ramirez. It don't matter if he beat Brian Oma Jr. Devin Haney should want to get his licks back. And Ryan Garcia going to be facing Mario Barrios. There's your opportunity to become a champion, man. I think that the boxing world been very, very maybe highly too nice to Ryan. We giving Ryan a lot of chances now. We giving Ryan too many chances now. Caesar with a $10 super chat to buy Chinese food tomorrow. Punch, can you please speak on Tim Bradley? He ain't giving Tio no chance. He recently said in today's video, Shakur will win comfortably and easily. Timothy Bradley never liked the Tio. Timothy Bradley said that he wasn't ready for Richard Comey. Timothy Bradley said that he was going to lose to Lomachenko. Matter of fact, what Timothy Bradley told Teofimo Lopez, a matter of fact, this is exclusive. This is back in the days. Timothy Bradley told Teofimo Lopez that his father is making a mistake putting him in the ring with Lomachenko. He said Timothy Bradley told Tio, leave your father, that your father is going to get you killed versus Vasily Lomachenko. Timothy Bradley had Josh Taylor beating Teofimo Lopez. So Timothy Bradley has always gone against Teofimo Lopez. Timothy Bradley always go. As a matter of fact, Timothy Bradley don't even like father trainers. Timothy Bradley feels that there shouldn't be no father trainers in the sport of boxing. But look at Inoue Inoue with Shingo Inoue. Look at Teofimo Lopez Sr., trainer of the year 2020. Look at Bill Haney, right? Manager of the year. One of the managers, I think he became manager of the year, stuff like that. And I think it was Keith Connolly, but he was one of the manager of the year, in my opinion, right? And still a trainer to Devin the Dream Haney. Like, look at these fathers. They have done a wonderful job. Bozy done a wonderful job with Boots Ennis. Virgil Ortiz Sr. has done a wonderful job with his son. You know what I'm saying? A lot of great father trainers in the sport of boxing. Virgil, you know what I'm saying? A lot of great fathers and father trainers. So Timothy Bradley he has a thing with Tio. You don't like Tio. That's what it is. They both better not underestimate. I don't think both of them is not. Trust me. Both of them know each other very, very well. Shakur knows Tio very, very well. That's why Shakur be like, nah, Tio was undisputed. Tio respects Shakur as well. You know what I'm saying? Is the fans that devalue the fighters, which then devalue the fights, which then devalues the victory. That's what happens. I don't want to speak about it. I don't want to speak about Antonio Tarver with a wig today. Why that shit is there? Not today. I think we spoke enough about Antonio Tarver with a wig. Hold on, let's move. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. They do look alike. Come on now. Come on, right? They do look alike. Right? Hey yo, hey yo. Let's be real, let's be honest. I ain't trolling, I'm not trolling, but they do look alike. Christian, they do look like they do look like. Shout out to the GWO, February 22nd. February 22nd. Breaking news, you already know. And shout out to Anthony Joshua, and my condolences go out to his friends, the family of the two gentlemen that passed away in the car crash. Anthony Joshua's uncle stated that Anthony Joshua has confirmed with his family that he is now retired. Now, Anthony Joshua has not confirmed that himself in a social media platform. Eddie Hearn, his promoter, Matchroom Boxing, outspoken guy, has not confirmed that either. But at this time, I don't think it's even think it's appropriate for anybody to even ask Anthony Joshua anything about boxing. To be honest, I think that would be disgenuine. So I would rather at this moment, if a family member want to do it for Anthony Joshua, I think that's highly respectable. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Anthony Joshua has anything to even, of course, thank people that have been praying for him and his and the family of his friends and loved ones. But right now, Anthony Joshua should not even be talking about boxing. I don't think nobody should be asking Anthony Joshua. I think the first person, and wait for several weeks, a month, but if Anthony Joshua gives somebody an opportunity to chop it up for a minute, and somebody asks Anthony Joshua, so Anthony Joshua, you want to retire, or what you think about a fight with you and Tyson Fury? Yo, I think that journalist, that writer, whatever, should get smacked the F up. Nobody should be asking Anthony Joshua anything about boxing, because asking him about boxing is then eventually, if he stays in, he will have to understand that there's a preparation for a fight. And him being prepared to go for a fight, his friends were there helping him prepare for each and every fight. So that's what makes it harder for him, could make it harder for him to even ask about boxing, because his friends was part of his boxing growth, his preparation for boxing, going to the gym, his workout partner, his strength and conditioning coach. Those are the people that helped you with your war mentality, with your hard work and dedication. You know what I'm saying? I think it will be hard for him to even enter a gym or even prepare to work out, because you're going to be like, damn, I used to work out with this person. This is my strength and conditioning coach. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. So shout out to Anthony Joshua, man. If it's true that he was definitely going to retire, he had a wonderful career. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He doesn't need to prove anything to nobody. He don't really need to box anymore, in my opinion. I think he's done enough. He's done enough. But tomorrow we back at it, 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking about these fights. Of course, this is fight week. Henry Cedeño Martinez. I probably want to have Henry Cedeño Martinez, La Bazooka, that's going to be performing in the Barclays Center. You know what I'm saying? In the undercard of Subriel Matias. And for those, support this event. There's people already trying to not acknowledge the pay-per-view, blah, blah, blah. You know what, man? Pay for the pay-per-view, because this is an independent, a small promotional company that won the purse bid. This is not Turkey's money. This is not Matchroom's money. This is fresh production, a very small promotional company that they riding high on being a successful. So that's almost like supporting your small business owners, so give them a lot of credit for making this fight. They didn't get the backing again, from Turkey and all that. So if people see a pay-per-view, $49.99, well, what is it, man? Just support, bro. Support. Yeah, I already know that Subriel Matias come and fight, bro. He's not gonna lay down. He's gonna come and fight and entertain. But that's about it. But we're gonna be talking about these potential fights. This is January. And of course, we were talking about Amanda Serrano. And like I said at the beginning, I think she got two more fights to tie and beat Christy Martin's record for the most knockout in women boxing history. I think she's gonna make an incredible year 2026. But of course, a lot of people are gonna want her to get in the ring with Alicia Baumgartner. You know, in the sport of boxing, there is passing of the torch fight. It's up to Alicia Baumgartner to take the torch, because Amanda Serrano ain't handing nothing to nobody. But I do believe that Alicia Baumgartner probably she get an opportunity to get another big fight versus a big name, which keeps the women boxing afloat. I think names, and I said this the year prior, I think names need to fight names. He said, Feliz, damn punch, missed my super chat. I'm sorry. Let me get it. Let me see, my brother. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got you right here. My fault, Mahia. Yo, good looking out with a $5 super chat. Yo, punch. You going to the fight January 31st. What is the best sports bar outside of MSG? I'm going to need some tips out there. Oh, yo, the one of the best. Yo, I don't know the name because they changed the name. Back in the days, it was Lucy's, and it's but it's right across the street. Yo, there's a lot of bars, bro. There's a lot of bars. There's an Irish bar that is, I don't know the name because they changed the name. There's another one around the corner in 9th Ave. Yo, to be honest, all the bars around there is dope. You know what I'm saying? If you go right across the street from Madison Square Garden in 32nd Street, in the corner of 8th Ave, in the corner of 8th Ave and 32nd, I believe so. There's 2 floors. That's a good bar, but they don't got a lot of TVs. If you go to 30, I believe it's 30. Let me see, 33rd or 32nd. 32nd. There's a Latino bar where they sell hookah on 35th. Cafe Nunez. That's a good bar if you like that the Latino crowd and stuff like that. They got hookah. They got Irish pubs. There's a good Irish pub. I forgot the name. There's another one around the corner between 32nd and 31st. That's a good bar. That's a sports bar right there. There's a lot of bars. Trust me, man. If you make your rounds from 35th, from 8th and 7th and 6th, 32nd, you could look at a ball, you're gonna be like, yeah, I want to watch the fight here. So my brothers, man, love y'all. Tomorrow we back at it. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. If you haven't become a member of the Punch Run Boxing, become a member. Y'all already know, man. God first, everything second. Fight plus survive equals true champions. The best investment you can make in your life is have God in your heart. Build that relationship with Christ. Christ is good. Christ is great. Christ is your best friend. Love you. God bless. And on. Wait. To the next.